Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Bobby. Bob, it's good to have you back. It's good to have you back. It's great to have live music back in here, folks. We just want to say good morning and welcome to the Center of Unity. We're going to do some Christmas carols this morning. We got a couple picked out. So, Lori, why don't you get us started on this first one? Oh, come all you faithful.
Oh, come all ye faithful, joyful and triumphant. Oh, come ye to Bethlehem. Come and behold him, born the King of angels. Oh, come, let us adore him. Oh, come, let us adore him. Oh, come, let us adore him, Christ the Lord. They sing choirs of angels, sing in exaltation. Oh, sing all ye citizens of heaven above. Glory to God, glory in the highest. Oh, come, let us adore him. Oh, come, let us adore him. Oh, come, let us adore him, Christ the Lord.
Wonderful. I hope you're all singing along at home. Bob, let's go right into this next one.
Hark the herald angels sing, glory to the newborn King. Peace on earth and mercy mild, God and sinners reconciled. Joyful all ye nations rise, join the triumph of the skies. With angelic hosts proclaim, Christ is born in Bethlehem. Hark the herald angels sing, glory to the newborn King. Hail the heavenborn Prince of Peace, hail the Son of righteousness. Light and life to all he brings, in with healing in his wings. Man that glory more shall lie, born that man no more shall die. Born to raise the sons of earth, born to give them second birth. Hark the herald angels sing, glory to the newborn King. All right.
Well, good morning once again, everyone. We're so happy you are here with us this morning, whether you are a committed congregant or whether you are joining us for the very first time. We are glad that you are here with us. We are so grateful to have this energy of music back in our sanctuary. We're grateful for Bob and for Lori and for Jeff and all who have worked so intensively to bring more music into our Sunday experience. You know, it dawned on me just a few days ago that Christmas Eve is rapidly approaching. It's just 4 days from now. And we are busy preparing a wonder-filled live stream service for you happening this Thursday at 5 p.m. We certainly hope that your schedule will allow you to be here with us live, and if you can't, you can always join us in the live stream at whatever time on Christmas Eve or Christmas Day works for you, as we celebrate and receive the gifts that the Christ child offers to each of us, the 7 gifts we will be focusing on Christmas Eve. There will be lots of music. We are getting our bearings about us, and we're going to have some soloists here. Stephen Thornton will be here, Nicole will be here, in addition to Bob, and we hope that the music as well as the message really opens your hearts, opens your minds to all that is here for us to receive this Christmas season. If you haven't picked up your Christmas goodie bag, and I have one, they look like this, they are available and will be outside the front doors in a gray bin for you to come and pick up at whatever time is convenient for you. And if you're joining us remotely, so you don't live in the local area, I just wanted to tell you what you'll need to participate with us these next special services that we're offering. For Christmas Eve, we just want you to have a candle available. We're giving these to those who come pick up their goodie bag, but you can use any candle that you might have in your home. And then next Sunday, we're doing our special white stone ceremony. And you will need a stone of some sort. This is the ones that the people that are local here will be using in that service. So you want to have, you can go find a stone somewhere out in your yard or on a walk. Look for a beautiful stone that you want to use, that we will be signifying the new name, the new state of being, what we want to call forth in this upcoming year. And then 1 week from Thursday, on New Year's Eve, we're having our special burning bowl ceremony, and for that, you'll simply need some paper. You can have a smaller sheet of paper for what you're going to be releasing. What we're putting in our package is disposable paper, so you don't have to mess with fire if you don't choose to, but oftentimes in this sacred ritual, people like to see the release consumed by the fire, and then just one more sheet of paper as we vision. We've got a big one in here, how we are calling forth the year of 2021 for our individual lives, and I am certainly going to be inviting everyone to hold their vision for how they want to see Center of Unity move into new ways of being. So if you are unable to come and pick up a bag and you do live here locally, please give the office a call. We have people who are willing to come and to deliver these onto your porches. So we need to know probably by Tuesday morning that you would like to have a delivery of this Christmas bag to your house. As we light the Advent candle, and I realize normally we have these lit, and I did not do that, so we're going to light the candle that represents faith. We're going to light the candle that represents peace. We'll light the candle that represents love. And this morning, we are focusing on our final Advent candle, which represents joy. So I invite you to join with me, and let's just take a moment to breathe and to bring our full selves into this Sunday experience. In that breath, we center ourselves in that indwelling part of us that is connected one to another and one with that divine energy that we call God. It is from this place of spiritual connectedness that we can know, that we can feel, that we can believe, and that we can experience our oneness with all of life. That we can tap into all of these gifts that have been given freely to us to use and to allow that expression of God to flow through us. This morning, in a special way, we tap into that energy of joy that comes from knowing that we are here on a divine mission, that we each have our own purpose and passion. And when we are in alignment with that, regardless of what's happening in our world, we can feel this unending stream of joy. I am joyous in this opportunity to be and to express the light of God, the love of God, and the hope and the faith of the good that is unfolding. For it is in that name and after the nature of that indwelling Christ presence that we can stand in this truth. And so it is, and so we allow it to be. Amen.
We inspire growth through prayer, education, and sacred service. And again, I say that is our mission of Center of Unity. Our vision of Center of Unity is centered in God. We envision a world free of judgment and filled with love. Our core value, one of our core values, is I would say, the focus on inclusive definition. We embrace the unique and diverse experiences of everyone. At the Center of Unity, we accept and appreciate all who enter in our church family via Zoom, streaming, YouTube, and yet as well, we're hoping in the near future we will be sharing in-person services, classes, and activities. We believe and know that each person is a child of God who possesses glorious attributes which strengthen and enlighten all. Blessings and love to each and every one.
Good morning, and wherever you are, please recite with me our wonderful unity principles. There is one presence and one power in the universe and in our lives, God, the good, omnipotent. The divinity is in all humankind. Jesus was not the exception, rather the example. We have direct access to God through prayer and meditation. Thoughts are things. We can demonstrate now the good we desire. And now our daily word, and appropriately, the word is joy. Joy dawns in my grateful heart. Joy to the world. The carol echoes the joyous message proclaiming the Messiah's birth. Today I feel this same triumphant joy awakening in me. I may have endured a long and cumbersome journey on the way to discover the joy that is alive in me, the truth of me as a spiritual being. I may have spent years denying my spiritual identity, thinking that fulfillment, wholeness, and abundance were for others and not for me. Now, as I've made the Advent journey, I have kindled my faith, felt the tranquility and comfort of peace, and received the soothing touch of deep and abiding love. Those gifts have led me to understand with deep gratitude that joy is mine to know, to feel, and to live. But the angel said to them, "Do not be afraid, for see, I am bringing you good news of great joy for all the people." Luke 2:10.
So the Advent season is a time of preparation, a time that we have been opening to receive all of the gifts of the birth of our own inner Christ, the gifts of faith and peace, the gifts of love and joy. When we hear the words faith, peace, love, joy, oftentimes we might associate them with a feeling, because in our humanness, that's often how we experience life, through this feelings. And when we hear the word joy, at least for me anyway, I often associate that with this feeling of being happy. And I know that probably each one of us have times in our life when we remember that extreme, intense feeling of happiness flowing through our lives. As a child, there's certainly the delight of Christmas morning. For me, that was always a really happy time. The happiness of our first new bike and the independence and freedom of riding that bike out in our neighborhoods. Perhaps it was the first car that you ever owned and got to drive, and the independence and joy that came with that. There's all those other milestones of life, whether it's our first job or our first relationship, the first birth of a child, all of those parts of our life experience we can associate with this feeling of happiness. But as we grow older, we realize that this feeling of happiness is often fleeting. It might last for a day or a week, or if we're lucky, for even many months. But eventually, it sort of becomes part of our everyday life. We begin almost even to take it for granted and feel this human urge to go and pursue that that intense feeling of happiness. The gifts that we're exploring through this Advent season is that birth of our inner Christ, and it's not really dependent on our emotions. They are more like soul awakening, of knowing that we are not just a human having this experience, but also a divine spirit. So often in our pursuit of wanting to have certain life experiences, we feel like in order for them to happen within us, the circumstances outside of us need to mirror that. To feel that sense of inner peace, we often think that the world outside of us, or at least the most important parts of our world, also need to be peaceful. But the soul energy of peace is not dependent upon what's going on around us. It is the peace that comes from knowing and experiencing that we are a part of God's eternal plan. It is the peace that comes from knowing that nothing in that plan can be diminished or destroyed despite whatever appearances there might be to the contrary. It is the peace, as the Bible described it, that passes all understanding. Doesn't always make sense to us given the circumstances, and yet it is present. It was that final gift that Jesus left to each of us when he said to those who were around him as he was going through this very difficult experience, "It is my peace that I leave with you. It is that same peace that I give to each of you." And we receive this inner peace when we remember, when we have the faith to know that even in the darkest of times, God, that very energy of indestructible love, is in the midst of all of it. And there is no one or no thing that can separate us from that. We spent last week exploring this gift of what I call soul love, that is offered without conditions. It's not the kind of emotional love that we experience when we're in relationships with people that we care deeply about. We open and we receive this gift every time that we remember, every time that our belief is there that God loves us unconditionally. See if you can receive that once again this morning. God loves me unconditionally. It is not based on anything I've ever done or haven't done. It is given to each person without respect of who they are. It's kind of like this virus. The virus doesn't care who you are. It doesn't care how much power or clout you have in our world. It doesn't care whether you're amongst the poorest of the population or the richest. It is equal in the way that it is willing to share itself with every human being. This kind of soul love operates in the same way. It is no respecter of persons. It loves because that is its very nature. And just as this energy of peace and love, the gift of joy is, again, not necessarily always feeling happy. Soul joy comes from knowing that you are living from a place of inner passion and purpose. It comes from remembering and believing and living from the awareness that you are here to be God's. It comes from listening and following that guidance of spirit within. You can probably feel a while experiencing soul joy. It offers to each of us an opportunity to feel and to live from this energy that says, no matter what's happening, I can get up every morning and I can be ready to do the work that's mine to do. A few years ago, a friend of mine received a message from Archangel Michael and shared it with me. And at the moment, it was exactly what I needed to hear at that time. And as I reviewed it again, it showed up when I was looking at some old things that I had shared about joy in the past. It seemed just as important for each of us to be aware of in this time. And this is the message that came through. Many of you speak of joy and wish for joy in your lives, and yet you do not fully understand the true meaning of joy in the context of spiritual service and the work of your soul. You confuse joy with happiness, and because you cannot be happy all the time, you feel that you have failed or that you are simply not good enough. But we say to you, do not feel this way, beloved ones, especially at this difficult time in the planet's transition. Perhaps when I explain it to you further, you will understand more fully how you can be in a state of joy without necessarily being what might be called happy. Spiritual joy is a state of the heart and soul, and it is produced when the heart and soul unite in the service of a greater good, such as the unfolding of the divine plan on the planet. It creates within the person who is receiving this joy a sense of contentment, a sense of acceptance, and yes, even serenity. A deep knowing that whatever might be happening, it will all be for the highest good and the greater good, according to the divine decree. This knowledge produces spiritual fortitude, even in adverse and difficult circumstances, such as those through which many of you are now passing. Courage will tell you that this will pass in time. And when the awakening of the planet is complete, you will find great states of happiness. Serenity will enable you to remain calm and focused, even when the stress of the transition is great and you feel in moments that you cannot go on. And joy will be the result. Because you know that you are contributing your energy and your love and your light to the unfolding of this greater plan and in service of the highest good. This is the meaning of joy. You know, I believe it was this kind of joy that the wise men, that these magi were able to experience and feel on their journey to discover the Christ child. We're told in Matthew 2:9 that as they were instructed by the king, they set off to find this Christ child. And then a star appeared, and again, the same star that they had seen in the eastern skies moved as it led them. And it led them on until it hovered over the place of the child. The scripture goes on to say that they were overcome with joy. They were in the right place. They had arrived at the right time. And the joy that they felt in that moment, I don't think had anything to do with what was going on in the world around them. It wasn't because they were going to did not. It wasn't even necessarily that they believed in the Savior of the world. These were men of different philosophies and understandings of life, or that everything was going to be changing in an instant in that moment because they had arrived. Rather, I believe that they had faith that this divine journey that they had been on was moving their lives and the life that they knew in the planet at that time in the right direction, and that they were doing their part. They were offering their service as part of this great plan. You know, I know for many of us there is this feeling of sadness that we cannot gather with family, perhaps in the way that we are accustomed to. There are many people who are struggling with loss, whether it's a loss that's happened recently or, as the Christmas season often does, brings up in our hearts that sense of missing and that sense of wanting to be with those who we have perhaps lost in the past. And yet, what I want for each of you to know that it is still possible to experience soul joy. Emotions come and go, as we know and we experience, but soul joy is that steady stream, that constant stream that is always available to us anytime we remember that while we might be having this human experience, our essence is spiritual, is eternal. I like the example that Jesus gives us to remember how we are connected, not only to each other, but to that eternal source. And he uses the analogy of a vine and the branches that come off of that vine. And he says in John 15 that I am the vine, and that I am, remember, is always that part of us that is identified, that is connected, that is and has been created from that source. And you are the branches. And when you are joined with me and I with you, the relation is intimate, it is organic, and the harvest is sure to be abundant. He says, I have described these things to you so that you may know that my joy is in you and that your joy may be complete. You know, those of us here who are a local part of Center of Unity, and those who may just be discovering us and wanting to be a greater part of what we offer here, are being called individually and collectively as a community to the awakening of this planet, to fulfill the mission that Center of Unity has said for itself, one that inspires spiritual growth in each and every person. We do that, as our mission states, through prayer and education. And in January, I want you to know that there are going to be many opportunities. Because we have this new technology called Zoom, it doesn't matter where you are, in the country or in the world. You can join with us in that class, in that experience, so that you can see how it is that your mission still needs to be expressed. We are offering a class that Gigi Johnson will be facilitating on Thursday evenings that'll be exploring, deepening your own experience of God's presence and power through a 9-step prayer process. So if prayer is something that you are feeling like you want to get a greater understanding and go deeper, this is certainly a wonderful class. It's based on the book The Gathering by Reverend Jim Rosemergy. You can also participate in one of several Zoom caring circles that we're going to be offering that allow those in that group to go into a deeper exploration of the Sunday series that we're offering. And it's aproposly named Hell in the Hallway, Light at the Door. It's based on a book by Reverend Ellen Davenport. And this series will support us in lessening our fear and more gracefully walking through change, because change is always with us, and allowing it to renew us into a more abundant life. You'll be getting more information about these opportunities in your upcoming January newsletter and in the e-newses that you'll be receiving. And if you don't always receive those, please go to our website, fill out the contact form, and we'll be happy to include you in that. And the third aspect of Inspire in our mission statement is through service. And there are so many opportunities right now to be in service to your fellow humanity. We are grateful for all of those who contributed to the I Can Still Shine organization recently. And if you didn't have the opportunity, I think we wanted to let you know that Grace is also more than willing to receive whatever you can offer to them, whether it's monetary donation. When Mary went to drop off some donations on Friday, she said that the parking lot was filled, overflowing with people who were seeking support in this time. And there are so many other organizations out there. So I just encourage you to really listen to how you're being called to be in service to help fulfill that we hold here at Center of Unity. This invitation to receive the gift of joy calls us each to discern and put in as we play our part in it. And I invite you, as you allow that discernment to happen and we move into a time of to just listen and be open, because we each are So I invite you now just to get comfortable right where you are and perhaps close your outer eye. Maybe take a deep breath just to bring your mind into this present moment. And as you let that breath go, to let go of all that has happened. Breathing once again, feel so that you can fully receive the we first allow that gift of we breathe in that gift of peace, even for just this moment. That gift that allows us to feel serene, that allows us to remain calm and focused in the midst of all the busyness and feel that presence and power of And now see if you energy of joy. That joy that comes from knowing that you are part of this divine plan. Remember all the ways in which you this plan into heaven right here on earth. Even if it was just a smile at someone who needed one, opening a door, and the many other ways that we can express those random acts of kindness. And then just listen for a moment to see and to hear and to own what Spirit has to share with you in this time of quiet. And as you begin to bring your awareness back to this time and to this space, know that you bring all of these gifts that you can use, that you can express, will carry for you in this holy season is that you discover peace for the season, love every moment. You are faith in the darkness, hope in the silence, and most of all, joy.
My name is Jan Garrett.
I'm J.D. Martin. Our song today is Joy in Our Hearts. Every day is a choice to show some kindness. We all are part of one family. So connected, our hearts and spirit. I reach out for you, you reach out for me. Peace for the season, love every moment. Light shines wherever we are. Faith in the darkness, hope in the silence. Joy, joy, joy in our hearts. Now is the time to come together to count our blessings. We are grateful. We lift our voices in one chorus. My brothers, my sisters, let's celebrate. Peace for the season, love every moment. Light shines wherever we are. Faith in the darkness, hope in the silence. Joy, joy, joy in our hearts. Celebrate peace and love. Ooh, light that shines. Celebrate faith and hope. Joy in our hearts. We need peace and love and joy. Light that shines. Celebrate faith and hope. Celebrate joy in our hearts. Peace for the season. Love every moment. Light shine wherever we are. Faith in the darkness, hope in the silence. Joy, joy, joy in our hearts. Faith in the darkness, hope in the silence. Joy, joy, joy in our hearts. Joy, joy, joy in our hearts. Joy, joy, joy in our hearts. Celebrate love. Joy in our hearts. Joy in our hearts. Thank you so much.
Thanks so much, you guys.
Well, I feel joy-filled. How about you? Now is the time that we prepare our tithes, gifts, and love offerings for the church. And as you do so, I remind you that you still have time to donate offerings to take advantage of end-of-the-year tax write-offs. I encourage you to consider setting up for committed giving. It's quick, easy, and it helps you keep up with your donations while it helps the church budget. So now, as you hold your gift in heart and mind, join me in the offering blessing. Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And so it is.
A big welcome to each of you who are with us for the first time. We thank you greatly for choosing to spend your valuable time with us in worship and prayer. Our true hope is that, based on your spiritual experience today and future experiences, that you will become an active part of our church community. Yet, if for any reason this does not feel like home, we encourage you to visit other churches to find the place you can call your church home. However, needless to say, we have high hopes that the Center of Unity feels exactly perfect for you. And those who are with us today, we too will greatly appreciate all who are attending to hit like on our Facebook and or subscribe to YouTube. And speaking of appreciation, today we are appreciating our Special Education Council for their contributions to our enlightenment and also changing the church sign. They lead Sunday school, and we hear more from them in 2021 as they plan classes and workshops for us. So to all on the Spiritual Education Council, if you will, we bless you, we love you, we truly appreciate you, and we behold the Christ in you. Namaste.
We have a lot going on this month at Center of Unity, so here's what we have coming up. Grace has issued a red alert for its Christmas cottage, declaring the nonprofit needs community support to supply toys, gifts, and food items to families during this critical time. They have already more than doubled the amount of families they served last year. Please consider donating. You can get a complete list of needs by visiting gracegrapevine.org. You can also drop off donations at the church Monday through Wednesday between 9 a.m. and 4 p.m. Be sure to stop by the church before Christmas Eve and grab your bag of goodies from the tub outside the front doors. That way, you'll be sure to have all the supplies you need to participate in our upcoming special services. If you are unable to pick one up, contact the church office and we'll be sure to get one to you. Adult Sunday School meets on Zoom right after service. All are welcome to join. The Zoom ID is on the screen, or you can access it from our website or the Center of Unity app. Every Tuesday at 11:30 a.m., Reverend Linda leads a metaphysical Bible interpretation class on Zoom. All are welcome to join. The Zoom ID is on the screen, or you can access it from our website or the Center of Unity app. Every Sunday morning from 10 to 10:25 a.m., you're invited to connect with us on Zoom before the service. Come by next week and say hello. All members should have received a renewal card in the mail. If you didn't, please contact the church office. These cards are due back at the church by December 28th in order to be a voting member at our annual meeting in January. Okay, everyone, save the dates. We have 3 special services coming up. Our Christmas Eve candlelighting service is on December 24th at 5 p.m. The following Sunday, we will have a white stone ceremony at 10:30 a.m. And then on New Year's Eve, we will have our burning bowl service at 5 p.m. You won't want to miss these powerful services. It has never been easier to give. We have 5 ways to which you can donate to the Center of Unity. You can drop your donation off at the church office, mail it to our P.O. box, visit our website or the Center of Unity app, or you can simply text 817-606-8768 and follow the prompts. Your continued support is greatly appreciated. All right, everybody. We want to thank you for being here today. And Reverend Linda, thank you so much for an unbelievable message. Thank you, everyone that helped participate. Bob, why don't we do our peace song together, shall we? Everybody sing at home. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as our Father, family all are we. Let me walk with my family in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let
joy in our hearts we go, knowing our prayer for protection together. The light of God surrounds us. I am the light of God. The love of God protects us. I am the love of God. The power of God. All right, the love enfolds us. Get it? I just said, oh, I know this, but apparently I don't. All right, let's do the second one. The love of God enfolds us. I am the love of God. The power of God protects us. I am the power of God. And the presence of God watches over us. I am the presence of God. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Have a beautiful week. Merry Christmas to everyone. See you on Christmas Eve at 5 o'clock.